This woman wants to see you do. She took your picture to a seer and was shocked to learn about your. Archangel Michael says, a photograph of you crossed a hidden threshold tonight, carried by hands that trembled between curiosity and fear, and the room it entered was not lit by bulbs but by old candles that know the names of those who walk in shadows. The seer looked once, then twice, and the third time her eyes would not leave the paper, as if the paper were breathing. Now the woman who carried your image cannot sleep because what she heard about you refuses to be quiet. The seer did not begin with curses or doom. She began with a timeline that bends toward your victory. She saw a thread wrapped around your name, a red filament that record keepers missed and pretenders could not cut. She said your life has been argued over, but the argument is ending because your arrival at yourself is now overdue. The woman asked what that meant, and the seer answered with symbols instead of small talk. She saw a door with paint flaking off, a hinge that squeaked for attention, and a key already in your pocket that you forgot you had. She warned that the first knock you'll hear is not from danger but from destiny, and you must open even if your hands remember every time a door led to trouble. When the woman showed your picture again, the seer traced a circle in the air around your face. She said there is a mark on you that liars cannot imitate and thieves cannot wear without burning. She called it a sign of return, the kind that brings lost years back dressed as opportunities that look brand new. The message did not stop there, it curved into names. The seer said someone tried to sign a document with your future on it, to claim what you haven't even unboxed yet. Paper can hold ink but not inheritance, she said, and what is yours has muscle in it. The woman stared because she knows about a conversation you were not invited to. She knows who wrote an email that pretended not to know your address, who folded your name under theirs. She kept quiet until the seer named the habit, silencing by delay, gifting by omission, praise that drips like a faucet that never fills a glass. You are not required to drink from that tap again. The seer told her that your next yes must be a clean yes, not a yes that makes a mess on the floor. She said your no will be a broom that sweeps footprints out of your rooms. The woman asked if you are in danger, and the seer's candles flickered the way candles do when they agree. There is a watcher, the seer said, not always a person but always a pattern. It repeats until called by its real name, and the moment you name it, it will break because it cannot bear the sound of honesty. There is also a helper who thinks they are too late. The seer saw hands hovering, wanting permission to steady the ladder while you climb. Give it to them, she said, because sometimes help is a rehearsal for partnership and your life is auditioning for better roles. About your heart, the seer refused to predict cheap fireworks. She saw endurance instead, mornings that begin with no applause and still end with a small trophy called peace. She said you value quiet now and do not need to shout to prove you can roar. The woman pressed for details. What is he? What is she? What is the time? What is the street? The seer smiled the way maps smile when you finally orient them north. She said the coordinates are written in your habits. The hour is the next time you stop scrolling and start acting, and the street is the one that carries your feet when you mean what you say. Your name, the seer said, has been handled by tongues that treat names like strings to pull. She saw knots being tied when you succeeded and teeth gnashing when you rested. She said the rope is yours now, you will weave with it, not wear it. She told the woman that your reflection does not match gossip. In mirrors, your eyes have a depth that no rumor can swim across. The woman remembered the first time she looked away from you because it felt like sunrise and she wasn't ready to be awake. The seer saw 3 doors. Door 1 is labeled corrections, door 2 is labeled composure, and door 3 is labeled confrontation. She advised that you enter them in that order, because a corrected truth puts steel in your voice and a composed presence makes confrontation short. Corrections: gather the facts that keep tripping over lies and set them upright. Your records, your receipts, your proof of work, stack them like bricks until you've built a wall no wind can heckle down. In front of that wall, say nothing theatrical, simply stand. Composure: practice it in small rooms so it travels with you into large rooms. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, release for 4, then move like your footsteps belong to the floor. People who love chaos will test you. Pass the test. By giving them silence they cannot grade. Confrontation: when the hour arrives, the seer saw your tone wrapped in velvet and anchored with iron. You will not shout, you will aim. You will not sway, you will lean your truth against theirs and let weight do what weight does. The woman asked about the one who envies you, and the candles did not like speaking her shape. The seer said envy is a mirror with poor lighting. It makes everyone look wrong. She warned that the envious one will disguise apology as advice, so measure their counsel by how it treats your boundaries. There was talk of a ring of keys. One is for a room you've outgrown, one for a door you'll never open again, and one that turns almost by itself when you arrive. The seer said the last key hums when it's near the right lock, and you'll feel that hum in your chest. Your money is a river that stops obeying hands that damned it without permission. The seer saw invoices balancing like acrobats until they found a stable platform called clarity. She said your price will rise because you stopped selling your time at wholesale. A letter wants to reach you with better news than you expect. The seer saw a postmark from the future stamped paid in full. She said when it arrives, do not apologize for winning, and do not shrink to fit anyone's forecast. Now the woman understands why she felt both drawn to you and frightened of the pull. The seer told her that magnetic fields do not ask permission to work. She said if the woman intends harm, the field will push her away. If she intends help, the field will make room for her hands. You have been appearing in dreams you didn't schedule. People wake with your name on their lips and your story in their bones. The seer said this is not a spell, it is recognition arriving early. She also saw a table with a seat left open. The invitation is real, but the menu has changed. They can no longer feed you distrust and call it strategy. Sit only if the agenda respects the miles you've walked without their map. The woman confessed a small betrayal she never committed but almost did. The seer told her that almosts are still heavy to carry, and the only cure is transparency. She said bring your apology before it is asked for, and it will weigh less for both of you. In the picture, your shoulders were tilted as if listening to something beyond the frame. The seer said that tilt will save you. It is the posture of discernment. Keep it when praise feels sticky and applause arrives with a leash. The woman wanted to know whether love follows you or runs ahead. The seer answered that love travels at your speed now. It neither drags you backward nor wanders off. It waits at the pace of mutual courage. Beware of late-night messages written in crisis fonts. The seer said urgency is a costume that liars rent cheaply. Ask problems to show identification in the morning, and many will vanish when daylight checks their references. The seer refused to use your fear as a currency. She told the woman that fear buys nothing that lasts. She said the only tender accepted where you're going is steady effort and trust that can be audited. About your health, she spoke in habits again. Water more, worry less, and learn the difference between rest and escape. She said your body wants a treaty, not a battlefield. Your creativity has been knocking with both hands. The seer saw a draft saved under a name that made sense months ago and a file you haven't opened because you respect it too much to risk it. She said respect it by risking it, and let the first version be the worst version on purpose. The woman asked what to do with the image she carried, now heavy with meanings. The seer told her to stop using your face as a question mark. If she wants answers, she must ask you, not the paper. Then the seer spoke softly about a day you think you ruined. She said the day forgave you, and that is why it keeps sending echoes that feel like second chances. Answer one echo and the rest will line up behind it. There is a place you've been avoiding because you saw something there you could not unsee. The seer said go back during a different hour and bring a different memory with you. You'll find that the place has learned new manners. Your name will be mentioned in a room that is used to forgetting it. The seer said let them say it wrong the first time. Correctness will arrive when results do. Your job is to keep your work undeniable and your boundaries uninterested in negotiation. To the woman, the seer gave a mirror instead of a talisman. Look into this before you look at him, she said, because your fear draws a sketch that doesn't match his face. If you arrive with respect, he will not mistake you for his past. There was a warning about a deal that tries to pay you in flattery. The seer said compliments without contracts are costumes without stitching. Ask for terms that can hold weight, and watch the fabric either show its strength or split. You will soon hear a story about yourself that is almost true. It will be wrapped in kindness but frayed with convenience. The seer said stitch it with your version before it unravels into rumor. The woman asked when the meeting would happen, because her heart had begun to pace. The seer said soon is not a threat, it is a calendar learning your name. She told her to come clean or not come at all, because your threshold does not entertain mixed motives anymore. You will stand in a doorway with light behind you and no need to explain the glow. People will ask what changed and you will answer, I did. And then everything else started catching up. The seer said that sentence will open safes that used to be conversations. About your enemies, she said some of them were never enemies, just echoes of old fear wearing new shoes. Others will reveal themselves by their allergy to your boundaries. Either way, you will not be collecting their opinions like tickets at a fair. There is an elder in your life who expects to see you shrink because shrinking is how they survived. Honor the history but not the habit. Show them a life that expands without apology and call it a tribute, not a rebellion. Your work will enter rooms it used to circle in the parking lot. The seer saw you speaking in a voice that knows the building's exits and still chooses to stay. She said excellence is not loud but it is audible, and your tone has finally been tuned to its frequency. The woman interrupted, "Will he forgive me for carrying his picture to a stranger?" The seer answered that forgiveness is a bridge built by whoever needs to cross. Bring lumber made of truth, and his steps will tell you how far he wants to go. There will be a message that begins with, "Just checking in," and ends with a request you cannot afford. Decline graciously and without a refund policy. The seer said generosity is a river. It is not obligated to flood on demand. You are about to discover how much quieter power is than pretending. The seer saw you choosing rest over performance and presence over spectacle. She said the world will call it mystery, you will call it finally. The woman asked if the seer feared you. The seer said no, I respect him. Fear is loud and short, respect is quiet and long. A childhood item wants to be returned to sunlight. The seer said touch it and remember that your beginnings were never your diminishment. Beginnings are factories for meanings, and you're allowed to reopen the plant. Your next opportunity will not roar into the room with a brass band. It will sit in the corner, underlined by usefulness, waiting to see if you notice. Notice, and then put it to work. The woman left the candles dimmer than she found them, because the truth had drawn light into itself like a lung. She knows now that your life is not an accident that learned rhythm. It is a design that survived interruption. When she meets you, you will feel a tremor in the air that is not fear. It is the exit of pretense, the evacuation of habits that kept the conversation small. Speak plainly, and watch relief introduce itself. You will not need vengeance. The seer said the math takes care of itself when input equals integrity. Keep your columns honest and your ledger will embarrass anyone who tried to game your totals. There is a smell like rain before it falls that will accompany your next good decision. Trust that forecast. It is the weather of your becoming. To the woman, the final instruction was mercy without gullibility. Offer him the truth you wish had been offered to you at the right time in your life. If he takes it, you will both rise. If he refuses, release him without turning yourself into a lesson plan. To you, the final instruction is simple and heavy. Stop delaying your entrance because the audience has changed while you were waiting in the hallway. They learned to clap with open hands instead of holding knives. Step in as if the floor had your back. The seer snuffed the candles and the room remembered its corners. The paper with your face on it cooled down as if it had been working. Outside, the woman touched her phone and deleted a message she shouldn't send, then wrote the one she should. She will request to meet, and you will feel the pull of the field deciding. Listen for the hum of the right key. It never asks you to hurry, only to move. When you do, everything you were meant to carry will recognize your grip. Perspective is your new oxygen. You will breathe better when you climb a step and look down at the maze that used to look down at you. From above, you will see exits that were always exits and doors that were merely painted on walls. A mentor will appear in ordinary clothes. They will not brandish credentials. They will carry questions that open like windows. Answer without performance and watch the air change. The woman will confess the parts of the story she edited to make herself the victim. You will acknowledge what hurt and still honor what heals. The seer said this is how adults do miracles, by refusing to outsource growth. You are not broken, you are mid-assembly. The bolts are tightening, the blueprint is legible, and the missing piece is not missing anymore. It's the courage to continue when the room is not cheering. You will reclaim a boundary you once apologized for. This time you will post it like a sign that doesn't need neon. The seer said the people who belong with you will read it and smile because they speak the same language. Soon you will find a sentence that becomes your spine. It will hold you upright in meetings that used to fold you. It will be a quiet line like, "I know what I bring." The woman will test your calm with a late confession. Breathe once for the person you were, once for the person you are, and once for the person you're becoming. Answer with a tone that proves you're in the room for the long term. There is a project whose deadline scared you into stalling. Give it a date that respects your pace and still honors the promise. Then make that date a doorway, not a finish line. You will learn to celebrate like a craftsman, hands a little dusty, voice a little hoarse, heart fully present. The trophy will be usefulness, not spectacle. The applause will be the way your life fits you now. The woman will ask how to help, and you will give her something specific and small first. Let the success of small be the permission for larger. Trust built in grams is harder to steal than trust delivered in tons. You will remember the person you promised you'd be when you were younger and unafraid of your own size. Say hello and mean it. Then make room at your desk for that version to sit beside you and take notes. The seer's final word is not a prophecy but an invitation. Treat the next chapter like a workshop, not a courtroom. You are not on trial anymore. You are in training for better. Sweat is not a verdict. It is a vow. The photograph is back in the woman's purse, but it feels different now, like paper that learned to stand up for itself. She walks toward you with less theater and more truth. When she arrives, the meeting will feel like weather breaking. From that day, no borrowed voice will explain you better than your own. You will narrate your progress in a register that protects peace and invites partners. The old story will look smaller from the height you've earned. And when doubt asks for another hearing, you will show it the work. You will point to the boundary, the key, the letter, the ledger. You will thank it for keeping you sharp and then ask it to leave before dinner. Nothing here demands perfection. Everything here invites persistence. You will choose consistency over spectacle, clarity over charm, alignment over applause. That is how the future recognizes its owner. So if you feel the air almost humming, that is your key calling the lock by name. Pick up your pace without rushing, and let your arrival explain itself. The seer has closed her eyes, the candles rest, the road opens. There is nothing left to fear about your face on paper. What matters is the person who now steps out from behind the picture and into the hour they refuse to surrender. Walk in, you are due. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says, the evening will arrive with a hush that feels deliberate, and in that hush a knock will choose your door with the accuracy of memory. The woman will stand there with a posture that admits she knows more than she planned to know. Between you, the streetlight will steady like a witness who learned how to keep records. She will hold your photo differently, not as a weapon or a riddle but as proof that the past can be corrected while the future is being built. Her voice will try on humility like a jacket that finally fits. You will recognize the fabric because you stitched that pattern into your own life first. Invite her into clarity, not into chaos. Let the conversation sit at a table where interruptions do not get chairs. Speak in complete sentences the way builders measure twice and cut once. The room will feel less crowded than rooms usually feel when history arrives with its boxes. You will open only the boxes that belong to you. The rest can live on the porch until their owners remember where they left them. She will confess that envy once called her friend and that fear used to co-sign her decisions. You will answer with boundaries that do not need a spotlight to be firm. The air will learn a new temperature and keep it. There will be an envelope, sealed before she ever met the seer, sealed on a day when she thought secrecy was strategy. Place it between you both like a stone, solid, undeniable, unromantic. Then decide whether opening it is repair or relapse. Choose repair. Choose the timeline that rewards honesty with doors that stop squeaking because they finally receive proper oil. The hinge will remember how to carry weight without performing it. The seer's words will cross the room without needing to be repeated. They will sit on the shelf where you keep instructions you actually follow. You will place today's date beside them and give those words a job. Your first task will be a small correction with large consequences. A name misfiled, a payment delayed, a truth that has been asking for daylight. When you fix it, you will feel your life return to original speed. Next, you will schedule the meeting you've avoided and set its agenda in sentences that fit on one page. Begin with what is non-negotiable, proceed to what is flexible, and end with what is finished. The finished items do not return to the table. Your phone will buzz with performances, people pretending urgency, pretending closeness, pretending to forget what they promised. Do not audition for roles you didn't apply for. Your calendar is not a theater. Work will stop feeling like a hallway where you keep waiting for the right door. You will understand that the right door is the work itself, done like a vow and delivered without the sugar of apologies. Excellence will become your accent. The woman will ask what restitution looks like. You will design it together like a bridge that must hold both of your weights. The math of fairness will be written in actions, not adjectives. There is a place in your home that collects hesitation. Top drawer, bottom shelf, left corner. Empty it. Put courage where clutter used to live and watch how often your hand reaches for it on instinct. Friends who are truly friends will step closer because truth is finally normalized. Acquaintances who were auditions for betrayal will drift to the edge where their echo belongs. You will not chase them, echoes do not answer when called. A contract will cross your desk without the makeup of flattery. Read it twice, sign once, and file it under decisions you made as the person you are now. Your signature will feel like a steady drum, not a nervous pen. You will wake one morning with a clarity so simple it looks like sunlight uncomplicated by blinds. It will say, choose the next honest thing. Then do it before your old hesitations remember how to speak. The woman will bring a name to the table. Someone who rehearsed your downfall in rooms that thought they were private. You will not become a detective, you will become a standard. Standards cause the right people to volunteer information without being asked. Your body will notice your decisions before your mind brags about them. Shoulders unclench. Breath lengthens. Sleep untangles without making a speech about it. There will be a visit to a place that once held your humiliation like a trophy. Walk in, do the necessary, leave without collecting souvenirs. Let the automatic doors close behind you like curtains ending a scene you no longer act in. Archangel Michael says, keep your voice shaped like accuracy. Let kindness be the volume, not the substitute for content. People will hear the difference and adjust their distances accordingly. The woman will describe the seer's circle drawn in the air around your face. You will feel that circle now as a circumference of consent. What enters is chosen, what exits is released, what remains is aligned. Nothing accidental survives long within it. A project long delayed will return with better manners. It will ask for time and receive structure. It will ask for brilliance and receive patience, which is how brilliance actually happens. Money becomes obedient when integrity stops negotiating with convenience. Price according to value, not popularity. Invoice on time and treat payment as respect, not charity. You will find a photograph of yourself from years ago and realize you have finally become the person that version of you was trying to imagine. Greet them with gratitude, not grief. Include them in your future like a co-author who never stopped writing. Someone will offer partnership the way storms offer water. Too much, too fast, too noisy. Decline with a sentence that understands your capacity. The right opportunities will arrive like rivers. Consistent, useful, sustainable. The woman will tell you that the seer refused to sell fear, and you will confirm the policy. Fear is an unhelpful accountant. It miscounts losses and ignores profit. Your new ledgers will show gains that look like calm. A mentor will share a tool you didn't know you needed, a phrase, a template, a ritual before difficult rooms. Use it until it becomes muscle memory. Then teach it once, to someone who will use it well. You will notice that apology and accountability are different species. Accept apologies that travel with action. Refuse accountability that arrives dressed as excuses. There will be a rumor that tries to harvest attention by wearing your name. Starve it. Feed your results instead and let them do the interviews. You will experience a quiet that isn't absence but presence mastering its own volume. In that quiet, make 3 lists. What is over, what is underway, what is about to begin. Tape them where decisions happen. The woman will ask, without asking, whether she is forgiven. You will answer with terms, not tension. Forgiveness will be a door at the end of a well-lit hallway, not a trapdoor disguised as mercy. A room will invite you to speak where you were once told to listen forever. Stand, deliver, and leave before you start explaining your delivery. Mystery is simply the remainder of truth after noise has been subtracted. You will receive a letter stamped with acceptance that surprises even your practiced hope. Read it slowly. Then let the paper teach your posture how to stand taller without leaning. There will be an ordinary day that suddenly feels like a rival. Nothing spectacular, only everything aligned. Keep it simple and keep it going. The woman will confess she once rooted for a smaller version of you because it made her feel safer. You will not shrink to accommodate that nostalgia. You will honor what is today's size. A habit will end because you stop feeding it data. The graph will flatten, then fall, then disappear from your dashboards. That is what happens when attention learns discipline. Archangel Michael says, claim your schedule or your schedule will claim you. Put your priorities on the calendar with ink that does not apologize for existing. Rest counts as a priority when it performs recovery, not escape. A threshold will mark itself under your feet without ceremony. Cross it without applause. Let the work be the party. The woman will bring back the mirror the seer gave her. She will say it taught her how to approach without projecting. You will receive her as a person, not as a rumor fulfilled. Trust will return by walking, not running. Steps, not leaps. Mile by mile, not miracle by miracle. Someone will test your patience by pretending not to understand simple boundaries. Replace repetition with consequence. The lesson will become bilingual quickly. You will revise a promise you made to yourself under the pressure of survival. Rewrite it with the authority of stability. Sign it with proof. A celebration will happen in a kitchen, not a ballroom. 2 or 3 people, a story retold, a laugh that lands deep. That is how real triumph sounds when spectacle is not hired to narrate it. The woman will ask how to invest in the repair she seeks. Ask her to learn your language, timely, direct, documented. If she is fluent, the bridge holds. If not, rivers teach distance. There will be a night when doubt returns with old footage and tries to sell you yesterday at a discount. Turn off the projector. Put today on. Your name will be placed on a list that once pretended not to know it. Do not scramble for gratitude you already own. Accept the seat and bring your work to the table like it eats with you. The key in your pocket will hum one more time and you will finally see the door it wanted all along. It doesn't look dramatic. It looks like belonging with a handle. Open it. Step through with the pace of someone who has stopped rehearsing departure. Let the room learn your rhythm. The woman will thank you without speeches, and you will nod without performance. Closure will not slam, it will click. That sound will become your new favorite instrument. From then forward, your life will prefer verbs over headlines. Build, deliver, sustain. Grace will become the way you move through tight spaces without bruising yourself on former narratives. Strong, quiet, accurate. People will remark that peace looks good on you. You will agree without needing to say it. Before you sleep, write one sentence that proves today honored the person you are becoming. Keep those sentences where your doubt used to camp. Let them grow into a forest that keeps your house shaded in summer and brave in winter. Tomorrow will not be a threat. It will be a partner with a key of its own. Together, you will open what used to stay closed for generations. And when the story of the photograph is told again, it will sound less like a warning and more like a witness statement. The witness will say, "I saw the moment he took full custody of himself." After that, the future started behaving. The road ahead will not ask you to walk alone, it will ask you to walk awake. With the right companions, at the right speed, on the right side of your own boundaries. That is how the long goodness begins. Keep the circle, carry the key, honor the ledger, protect the quiet, and choose the next honest thing. Do it again and again until repetition becomes renaissance. This is what the seer meant by overdue. The candles have learned to rest. The room has learned to listen. You have learned to lead your life from the inside out. A new morning will arrive with the face of practical hope. Coffee hot, list clear, body ready, spirit unafraid. You will recognize yourself and nod. This is the continuation the moment asked for, not the apology the past demanded. Take it in both hands and let your fingerprints bless it with responsibility. Then proceed as if you belong, because you do, and the doors know it now. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20.